It's been a hot minute, but we're back, and we're going to talk about the NBA Finals, and my voice is gone, but Caedmon is – I know you're excited to talk about this.
Yeah, you know it.
Let's do it. And ladies and gentlemen, we're back with another episode of the one and only Allied Rivals podcast. My name's A.J. Herschel, and I am here with my man, Caedmon Bauer. How you doing today, dude?
Oh, man, you know I'm doing awesome right now. Bucks are making Bucks just
sir.
made the finals. Got game 1 tomorrow.
Yep.
And
the Brewers are leading the Central.
And the Brewers went on an 11-game winning streak, if you didn't know. Pirates ended it, sadly, but
out of all the teams to end it.
All the teams, yeah.
But, I mean, you had to give the Pirates one win, right? Like, they're the worst team in the NL.
Yeah, I mean, I'm happy because I think really, if they keep doing what they're doing, they're definitely a top 5 team.
Mm-hmm.
Because you got the pitchers and our fielders are starting to hit or do whatever.
Mm-hmm. So and if Yelich finally gets back to normal, then watch out.
Yeah, if he can do something, that's good. I'm excited for Narvaez because he's amazing if you don't know who he is. But AJ, how you doing right now?
I'm okay. I've been sick. This is the 20th day that I've been sick, and it has gone from throat problems to sinus problems to headaches to everything in between. So I've been taking a lot of NyQuil and a lot of Sudafed and a lot of Tylenol over the last 3 weeks. So I apologize to everyone. I really wanted to keep up with the NBA stuff, but I kind of couldn't really talk. So that is on me. But I'm getting better.
Hey, you good.
And NBA Finals are here. And White Sox are still leading our division, so I'm happy about that.
Good.
And the Arizona Rattlers are tied for first in the Indoor Football League. They're my favorite team there. So don't know if anybody cared about that. But
we're here.
Doing good. And for those of you who don't remember, we will still be doing a video on KDT Wiffle first ever week. We'll be doing a breakdown of the first series, which a little bit overdue, but we will get to it. And also, we're coming up on our 1-year anniversary. We're going to have a lot of stuff for that, including a new logo, new background, new bloopers segment for the first time ever. Compiled myself. Caedmon actually chose all the clips for it. So that is going to be, we're putting that together right now. So that's going to be very fun. It's going to be very fun. But Caedmon, it's time to talk about the NBA Finals. And which team do you want to start with, Bucks or Suns? Totally up to you.
Dude, I don't know, AJ. Let's just start with my Bucks since we're the away team. Technically. You must be glitching out, or I am glitching out because I cannot hear you. All right.
Yeah, it's me.
Okay, there we go.
It's me. Yep. Am I here? Am I in?
Yeah, you're good.
You're live?
Yeah.
Are we good?
Yeah. Take it away, AJ.
Okay. Yep. All right. As I was saying, Bucks are back, ladies and gentlemen. They're finally here.
Okay, so it seems AJ is having some technical difficulties. And while we're here, Lightning Bauer says, welcome back. Good to see you, Lightning Bauer. Yeah, so let's just bring AJ back.
Thanks. Thank you. Yep. What was the last thing I said?
Hey, you know what? I would just start over.
All right. Bucks are finally in the finals after 3 years of not being able to push through. They're finally here. They're able to knock off the surprising 5 seed the Atlanta Hawks, who had a rough go of it, but Trae Young getting injured finally put the final nail in the coffin, and the Bucks were able to push through thanks to a massive game from Brook Lopez in Game 6 to push them through to the finals. And Giannis banged up once again, a hyperextended knee this time in the playoffs, but he's currently day-to-day looking to go for Game 1. If not, he will definitely have to be there for Game 2 instead. But Caedmon, you are the Milwaukee Bucks fan and the biggest Bucks fan I know, because you're the only Bucks fan I know. So how are you feeling about the Bucks winning the Eastern Conference finally and their performance over the Hawks?
Finally. So Brook Lopez, big game in Game 5. Chris Middleton and Drew kind of took a lot in Game 6. And really the whole team defensively was just all around crazy. I mean, you got Brook Lopez getting a ton of blocks. Drew Holiday, first team all defense. And Chris Middleton is an underrated defender. He is clamped down. Like, he gets in the guy's face and he's physical. And then there's PJ Tucker, who he is in because Dante DiVincenzo was injured. And man, that guy's only like 6'5", but he is a big body. And man, he doesn't score a lot, but he is amazing off the rebounds, which is super great. And then Giannis, with him out, we had Portis in, especially Game 5. He had a playoff career high, I believe, with 22, and he was just slamming it everywhere and just dominant in the paint. So I was really happy. I was a little scared, to be honest, when it was 2-2, and then, to be honest, I was even a little more scared when we were up 3-2, just because I thought the Hawks, oh man, they're going to take home game, and then all the pressure is on the home team for Game 7. But I was happy we took it. And yeah, Lightning Bauer says Pat Connaughton. Pat Connaughton has been a really big factor for the Bucks as well. I mean, you got him. Sometimes he'll shoot just need to shoot 3 threes. Sometimes it'll be 9, but it seems like he's always coming in pretty clutch. And I think the man has some of the best vision I've seen on the court. And he's also he hustles all the time, and he's really good at just defense in general. So, yeah, from our looks, AJ, I think we got a pretty good defensive team, even without Giannis. Mm-hmm. And our offense, it's a little rough in certain places, but I think overall it's pretty good. I think we just got to watch when we get a lead. For some reason, we start shooting threes all the time, that we let the team come back. And that's what worries me. We just got to keep dominating in the paint instead of shooting a million threes in the second quarter.
And I think that's something that definitely showed over the Hawks series, especially when Clint Capella got banged up as well. That Lopez and Bobby Portis were the difference in 5 and also 6. I know Middleton and Holiday scored more points, but both of them were able to bring in almost all the rebounds over who you've brought up before, Caedmon. Capella is arguably the best rebounder in the NBA, and they were able to out-rebound him for the last 2 games, and that really put them over the edge. And also locking up on the corner, like you said, PJ Tucker, he's a big body dude who barely ever scores, but is one of the best defensive players on that team, surprisingly, especially when it comes to guarding around the perimeter, which they definitely need, because on the inside, you rotate Portis, Lopez, and Giannis out. It's almost impossible to get any points in the paint at all. So having him on the outside as well is definitely just huge in being able to shut down Bogdanovich and the rest of the big shooters from the Atlanta Hawks and to move them on to the next round. That's a big reason why the Bucks are there for sure. Defense is absolutely a big reason why they've been making it into the playoffs thus far, and it's a huge reason why they knocked out the Hawks, especially in the paint. Big men dominated. I saw Brook Lopez with 31 points in Game 5, and I had to do a double take. I was like, what? Brook Lopez?
Yeah.
There's no way, right? I'm looking at the rebound statistics.
He had like 10 dunks.
I can't believe it. It was crazy.
He was going nuts. Yeah, that was
absolutely insane. Yep.
But
meanwhile, Western Conference side, you got the Phoenix Suns, first time in the finals in a hot minute. This is the most hope they've had since Steve Nash. And they had to beat a fighting Clippers team that, honestly, Cade, I think injuries has been the story of this NBA final, the NBA playoffs in general. I mean, Giannis, obviously, still banged up. You look at the Atlanta Hawks, Trae Young, Bogdan, and Clint were all injured at some point. You look at the Nets, they had Harden out and Kyrie Irving for the end of the series. And then you get to the Clippers, and there's Kawhi Leonard, which pretty much sunk the Clippers, in my opinion. Paul George put up a fighting chance. And this is, I think it was his best playoff series performance
he was really
ever.
good.
He carried them, and that was something people said Paul couldn't do before, and that he needed a second to help him push through. But he really did his best job that he possibly could. But the Suns' efficient offense, incredible defense, and DeAndre Ayton finally becoming a star in the last few games has pushed the Suns into the NBA Finals over the Clippers. Cade, what are your thoughts on Phoenix?
Yeah, so they scare me. I mean, the Nets scared me too, to be honest. I felt like we could beat the Hawks. I wasn't sure about the Nets. I think I said Bucks in 6 versus the Nets, but I was really scared about that. The Suns, I mean, you got Chris Paul and Devin Booker. What else do I need to say? They're two of the best mid-range shooters in the NBA, and Devin Booker has become a really good three-point shooter at certain times as well, which is really scary. Both of them are really good at facilitating, and DeAndre Ayton kind of scares me. Now, here's the thing. We've been seeing him with Zubats and let's see, Anthony Davis was out in their first series, or he was out for a lot of it. So they had the Lakers had a backup center in against the Suns. So to be honest, I feel like Brook Lopez can stick with Ayton more than like Zubats or whoever the Lakers backup center was.
He also did have to duel Jokic though with the Nuggets though.
That's true. But then again, the Nuggets didn't have really any other big guys that they had to worry about. So that was kind of nice because at certain times Cam Jordan also went on Jokic as well. So I don't know. I think Brook Lopez will be able to take care of him a little more. I heard someone say, like Ayton is a good defensive player, and he's really good at getting in the paint on offense and just slamming it when he's getting assisted from Chris Paul or Devin Booker or whatever. But when you get him out on like playing someone on the three, like Brook Lopez isn't the best three-point shooter, but he can shoot the three. So say Brook Lopez makes a few. He has to step out to meet Brook Lopez out there, and that opens up things for PJ Tucker to maybe do something, but more importantly for like Chris and Drew to really get in there. And then if we have Giannis, which I really hope we do, then that just means one more big guy in the paint that the Suns don't know what to do with. So even if Ayton can clamp down on Lopez and kill him on offense, we still got Giannis and we still got Tucker, who, even though Tucker isn't huge,
he's not really a scoring guy though.
No, but he's still big on rebounds, which makes it harder for guys like Ayton, who against guys like Zubats can get a ton of rebounds. So it's going to be a good series, AJ. I don't even want to predict this.
Yeah, I think the Phoenix Suns, honestly, one of their biggest strengths is also one of the Bucks' biggest weaknesses, and that's the mid-range jumper. Paul and Booker are lethal from anywhere around inside the arc, and we talk about the Bucks, how great they are in the paint, which they absolutely are, but the Suns are just deadly shooters. Also, Jay Crowder, who I've said multiple times, one of the most underrated players in the NBA. He's not like an all-star or anything, don't get me wrong, but as a role player, he's one of the best at what he does. He can get you a cool 15 or 19 night in, night out, and he'll be there getting you a couple rebounds as well. Mikal Bridges is a decent shooter. Torrey Craig is a fine rebounder off the bench as well. So I think really it's going to come down to Booker and Paul and how well they can shoot the lights out against the Bucks, and whether the Bucks defense is going to be able to clamp down closer to the perimeter. And of course, DeAndre Ayton, obviously the big rebounding dude, he is going to have the battle of his life against Giannis and Portis and Lopez. The rebound battle is going to be absolutely brutal if you're Phoenix. So if you're the Bucks, it's going to be a lot, I think, about second chance shots, and defensive rebounding. That's where they really need to excel. And for the Suns, for me, they are one of the best pick and roll teams with Paul, with Ayton, and with Booker. They're lethal with it. They've got to get that going early if they want to win. If they want to win this entire series, which I think they absolutely can, but it's definitely going to be difficult to go against a team that is this good at defense. And granted, I know everyone's going to say the Bucks had to make it through the Eastern Conference. It's not as tough as the Western Conference. Yes, we know, we get it. The Eastern Conference is totally mediocre. It's totally mediocre. Dude, the Wizards made it into the playoffs at 34 and 38.
Dude, you look at the Nets, and it's like the Nets, Sixers, Nets. Okay, I get what you mean. Like past 4 teams in the East, it's garbage. But the Bucks weren't the 1 seed this year.
No, they weren't.
We didn't have to play the 4 seed, the 8 seed, and then the 4, and then whoever's left. We had to play like Heat pretty good teams. Yeah.
Well, Heat with a banged up Jimmy Butler, but still.
Yeah, sure.
And see, I think that's
that was a win.
Yeah, that's the one knock I think you can say against the Bucks. They've beaten teams at their worst. The Heat without Butler, the Nets, they barely survived without Irving and a messed up Harden that could barely shoot. And then finally, a Hawks team that didn't have Trae Young for Game 5, and then in Game 6 went 4 for 17. So
the Bucks didn't have Giannis. So
for Game 6, they did, and he was out he was out for part of Game 5, most of it, yes, but still. But they're going up against a Suns team that is fully healthy. And that is going to be the difference maker on whether the Suns, I think, can stay healthy throughout the entire season, because they're a team that works best when everyone is healthy. You saw the Nets still being able to function pretty well when one of them went out, and when 2, they finally almost got down. And the Hawks, without Trae Young, were able to survive a game. But then after that, they went down pretty easily. It was only the 3-point ball that kept them, especially in Game 5. So I think it really comes down to, can the Suns stay healthy? If they do, they're going to have to shoot the mid-range jumper. If it comes to the Bucks, they've got to punish inside, because I definitely think I think the trio of having, whether it's Giannis who's going to be starting, whether it's Portis who's going to be starting, whoever's healthy, I think that trio of Tucker, Portis, Lopez, and Giannis will be able to outshoot Crowder, Bridges, and Ayton, especially down low, getting to the boards. Giannis running at full speed if he's healthy. I think that's the big key factor for the Bucks if they're going to win, and getting Chris Middleton on the outside. Crowd Giannis to the inside, kick it out to Chris so he hits long balls, which he is one of the best. He's one of the best in the league at, completely underrated at as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and just so you know, AJ, he did. Yeah. Giannis was injured in the first half of Game 4.
Right. Oh, Game 4. Thanks for reminding me.
He was out for 5 and 6. So
thanks for reminding me.
That is nice.
You're right.
Because that means we have a really good defensive team without Giannis, and we had at least okay offense. I mean, pretty good offense, honestly. I think for Game 5 we had the most points since like Game 2 against the Heat or something. So
yeah,
I don't know. AJ, what's your predictions for this, man?
Okay, before predictions, I do got one question for you.
Okay,
as a Bucks fan,
okay,
you're Mike Budenholzer right now.
Yeah,
Giannis is day to day. He comes in tomorrow, says coach him at 70%. Do you play him Game 1, or do you sit him for one game and let him rest up for Game 2 and get him to 100%?
Okay, I let him play. I'll let him start. But if he's not moving around like he should be, if he's not able to dominate in the paint or get boards or whatever, if he looks in pain at all, I take him out. I give him. If he's in pain, I take him out for the rest of the game. If he's just not doing well, I give him far less minutes. Like instead of 35, I give him 15. You know, just I would say if Giannis feels like he can play, like he would, like he's healthy enough to be playing, then I feel like we should play him just to see what happens. Because usually the Bucks, no matter how bad, we don't go down in the first quarter. Like, we almost never do. So I'd say even if Giannis is terrible and missing layups and airballing free throws, which isn't too bad for him, but I'd say we play him. Okay. I'd say we play him. AJ, if you are Mike Budenholzer,
yes,
what do you do?
Honestly, I think I have him dressed. I have him dressed for game 1. If he's at 70%, I don't have him start. I have our core of Bobby Tucker and Brooke Lopez go out instead and see how they perform. If we're keeping it close, if we're able to hang in there, if we're leading, and I don't need to put Giannis in, oh please, I'll let him sit and rest till game 2. Wait till the Greek Freak's at 100% before I get him suited up. But if we're struggling and Giannis he's a difference maker whether he's at 100% or not. If we're struggling and he's physically able to play without being in too much pain, there's no risk of further injury, then I play him later in the game. Like you said, give him less minutes. Let him be a difference maker for as much time as he physically can be without making it worse or re-injuring himself. Otherwise, I don't think I have him play as much as I can because I think the Bucks definitely can win, possibly without him. So if I can, rest him as much as I can for game 2. That's what I'm thinking for Giannis.
Okay. And I just have a question for you. I don't know if there's any reports today on this, but Chris Paul was saying he tore ligaments in his hand.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't know exactly how serious it was, but I mean, that sounds terrible. And if you're Monty Williams and he's saying there's pain in that hand, are you going to let him sit out?
I think part of it is, there hasn't been any news on it recently, so I think he's going to be okay. But assuming he's not, hypothetically speaking, Devin Booker is good enough to run the offense. This is a guy who basically dropped 60 points in a game. So if he really thinks he's not ready to go, especially if it's his shooting hand, if it's his right hand, if it's his facilitating hand, his passing hand, then I'm definitely sitting him. If it's his left hand, if he's able to move without it, if he's able to dribble it without pain, I would play him in that instance. But if it's affecting his shooting, affecting his passing, Booker is good enough to run the offense. I think the Suns would be okay without him. It definitely hurts because Paul's a great mid-range shooter, great facilitator, but I think they'd be okay. I think Booker would be able to carry the team for a game. What about you? What would you think?
I think so. I would say if I'm Monty Williams, if he's having any pain, I'd sit him out. Especially, I mean, I think I might have him dress just in case something's going terrible because it is a home game and you don't really want to lose your first home game. That would just stink.
Mess up the tone,
But I just checked and something says how Chris Paul reveals how he can play through an injured hand. And then something yesterday is like Chris says extra rest is helping a ton for his hand. So I'm interested to see for tomorrow because they're definitely going to come out with some stuff. Just reports on him, reports on Giannis. Can't wait to wake up to that. But
and I think that is one of the big things, like you said, getting extra rest. The Suns got their series done a lot quicker than the Bucks did, and that was in due part because the Suns went and swept the Nuggets. Thanks to that, because both of their conference final games went to 6 series, but thanks to the fact that the Suns were able to sweep the Nuggets without much difficulty, they were able to get an extra 4 days off before the final. So that is definitely going to be a big factor depending on how fresh both of those teams are, because they got to fly home on June 30th after that night and just sit since Thursday and just get warm. That's going to be a big factor. But Caedmon, it's prediction time.
Prediction time. All right.
What are you thinking? Suns? Bucks? What's your prediction, Cade?
See, Charles Barkley hasn't been wrong hardly at all in this playoffs.
Yeah.
And he says Bucks in 6, which is what everyone else is saying, because that's when we go back home for Game 6. And I really want to say it. There's just something in me that wants to say Suns in 7.
Really?
Oh man, like if we're down,
go reverse psychology. Say Suns, hope Bucks.
I'm gonna go with Barkley on this one. I think it's I think it's gonna be Bucks in 6. I'm really hoping we can split the series with the Suns when they're at home.
The
home series, and it would be awesome if we could take both our home games, especially if Giannis is healthy. But I think if we lose I think we will take one. I think we will steal one of the first two. If it's game one, that's awesome because it really gets the Suns messed up and out of their tone, and that's great for Giannis too, especially if he's not playing. I'm saying Bucks in 6, AJ.
Bucks in 6. There it is.
All right. All right, AJ, what's yours, man?
I think the Suns are going to take game 1. That one I pretty much made my mind up. Suns have more rest. Giannis isn't at 100%. I think the Suns are going to take game 1. I think that sets the tone for them to go in and take game 2. I think the Bucks take game 3 and 4 back to back at home. I think they go home. I think they get that 3-day rest in there. Giannis is back healthy. I think they reset, get those 2. I think it ties the series up at 2-2. I'm going to say Suns in 6. I think they're going to be able to take it, possibly 7. I could definitely see the Bucks getting another win at home, so maybe Suns in 7 as well. But I think the Suns are going to take it in 6. I think it's really going to be that start tone and then the ability to go home in game 5 that's going to be able to get the Suns the momentum. And that 4-day rest keeps sticking out to me of being able to have extra days before the final start. So I know for sure that I'm predicting Suns for game 1. I'll say Suns in 6, but it's going to be a close series that I will definitely be watching to the end.
Yeah, I'm really hoping that if it starts out like the Nets series did, where we lost 2, we came back and won 2.
Yeah.
If it's Bucks in 7, that is the most, like, in overtime.
Honestly,
that is the most exciting thing ever. Like, I was dying in that series. I could not watch overtime. I was, like, running around my kitchen, going out of my mind. Yeah. But that was a great night.
Yeah.
So, all right, AJ. I said Bucks in 6. You say Suns in 7, right? All right.
Suns in 6. Suns in 6.
Oh, Suns in 6. Okay. All right. Well,
it's gonna be close.
You heard it. It's gonna be close.
There we go.
Right here.
Yes, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for tuning in. Leave your NBA Finals predictions in the comments below. Game 1 is tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Eastern or Central. I think it's Central time. Is that Central time? Central time. Okay. 9 Eastern, 8 Central. My bad. Caedmon and I will definitely be watching along. We'll keep posting our own predictions and stuff with this because we're definitely following this series back to back, regardless of whether I'm sick or not. The NBA Finals for crying out loud. Yeah. Be sure to check out our KDT Wiffle Ball video. That breakdown's going to happen. We'll be uploading that soon, hopefully. And be sure to be subscribed because we have a lot of 1-year anniversary stuff that we are planning on doing. Caedmon, anything you want to finish us off with before we check out?
Yeah, go Bucks. Let's just leave it at that. Bucks in 6.
Go Bucks. Lightning Power, Bucks in 6. There you go. Lightning Power, thanks for tuning into our episode. We'll see you guys next time on the one and only Allied Rivals podcast. Have a good one, everybody.
See ya.